So it's the day of AEW Revolution. It is Sunday, March 7th. And of course, what we're going to talk about right now is what everyone's still talking about in anticipation for tonight's pay-per-view event. And that is, who is this mystery Hall of Fame worthy signing going to be? Because we've got more teases. I know we've had teases talking about a former, well, I don't even know if he's under contract right now with WWE, that being Christian. Kurt Angle, former WWE champion, WWE Hall of Famer, not under WWE contract, of course, anymore, since he was released last April due to the COVID-19 budget cuts. He's teased he could possibly be returning to the ring tonight at Revolution, but there have been some more wrestling personalities that have teased a possible AEW Revolution appearance, so we're going to talk about it once again here. So apologies for the replication, but what is shaping up to be a week of teases, both people affiliated with the world of pro wrestling, Pat McAfee and Bully Ray, have both posted videos hinting that maybe, just possibly, one of them is the big signing that AEW is going to reveal tonight at Revolution on pay-per-view. Now for Pat McAfee, he was in the news of course recently after Shaquille O'Neal claimed that his tag team match on this past Wednesday's edition of Dynamite would, quote, top all other celebrity matches. Now, Pat McAfee responded to this. He retweeted Shaq's comments, simply responding, quotes, "It won't." McAfee, of course, had a very well-received first ever pro wrestling match against Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver 30 last August. He also participated in the War Games match last year too. Now, earlier this week during a media call, Executive Vice President of All Elite Wrestling, Cody Rhodes, was asked about Pat McAfee's comments. Rhodes interestingly said, quote, "I think I didn't see this particular comment, especially from Pat, which is super bizarre because I'm pretty sure Pat's trying to get a job at AEW like every other day. But that's another conversation," end quote. Now, Pat McAfee was quick to respond to Cody Rhodes' comments. There was a lot of back and forth about he said, she said stuff, but Pat McAfee said, quote, "was not true," end quote, and was thinking more about retirement than going to All Elite Wrestling. Now, he also posted a video this week of him putting some wrestling gear in a backpack, once again hinting that possibly he could be the name that shows up at AEW Revolution. Now, when it comes to Pat McAfee, it's not Pat McAfee. This is the thing with some of these teases. When it comes to people like Kurt Angle teasing that it could be them, it's slightly realistic. It's a Hall of Fame worthy name. They're not under contract with WWE. Put it this way, if it was Pat McAfee, which it isn't, it's not Pat McAfee, but if it was Pat McAfee, could you imagine the response on social media? I mean, it would be underwhelming to say the least. Now, I know people would say, well, Hall of Fame when it comes to the NFL, he had a successful NFL career, maybe that's the Hall of Fame they were talking about. I really, really, really don't think All Elite Wrestling would do that. It would certainly be a massive, massive letdown. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Pat McAfee fan when it comes to the world of pro wrestling. I think when he was in NXT, and I still think, frankly, he should probably be on NXT TV right now. I think he cuts the best promo on the NXT roster. Maybe that's part of the reason he was taken off of television, is that he was too good. He was showing up some of the other wrestlers, and in the ring, yes, he obviously was in the ring with very talented people, specifically the likes of Adam Cole, who can have a fantastic match with a broomstick, but there's no doubt that Pat McAfee held his own. But he's not going to be going to All Elite Wrestling. And he certainly, if he was going to be going to AEW, he wouldn't be hyped up as a Hall of Fame worthy surprise signing or anything like that. It would be a massive letdown. Now, that's no disrespect to Pat McAfee, but it's just Pat McAfee being Pat McAfee. And a lot of these teasers that we've seen on social media, frankly, it's just Hall of Famers and pro wrestlers just trying to have a bit of fun. There's a lot of buzz when it comes to this tease about this signing, and I don't think truly, apart from those in the know in AEW, the likes of Tony Khan and whoever this mystery signing is, I really don't think that many people actually know who the signing is. So I think when you have people like Pat McAfee, when you have people like Kurt Angle, and you have others, which we'll touch on in a second, when they're doing these posts, these teasers on social media, they're just trying to stir it up. They're just trying to have a bit of fun with the world of social media and get on the hype train, the buzz for tonight's Revolution pay-per-view. That's all it is. Now, another name, as I mentioned, Pat McAfee wasn't the only name that did a tease that he could potentially be the person that shows up tonight at Revolution. Another name is Bully Ray. Now, last July, it was reported that Bully Ray had finished up his contract with Ring of Honor and was officially a free agent. Now, since then, he has since to appear in any other promotion. There was rumors at one point about coming back to Impact Wrestling. That, of course, hasn't happened. But Bully Ray also posted a clip on social media. Ray posted an old ECW promo that included the word Revolution in it. He said, quote, or this is what Bully Ray said in the promo, quote, "The gods become immortal and the revolution continues." Now, is it going to be Bully Ray? If it was Bully Ray, would it fit the Hall of Fame worthiness of how AEW have been hyping this up. Bully Ray is a WWE Hall of Famer, of course, with the Dudley Boys, with Devon Dudley. Would Bully Ray, even at this point in his career, necessitate all of this hype that we're seeing? Would Bully Ray fit the profile of this Hall of Fame worthy talent, a game changer, all this kind of stuff? I don't think so. And I really don't mean any disrespect to Bully Ray in that sense of the imagination. I just think if Bully Ray was to come into AEW, I don't think they would hype it up like this. I think Bully Ray would just show up one episode of Dynamite and he would attack someone or something like that. Is there a space for Bully Ray at AEW right now? I don't see why not. I don't know if it would be really in AEW's best interest to bring him in, purely for the sense that, look, he is in the sort of the latter stages of his career. There's no doubt about that. Does Bully Ray still have something to offer? Of course he does. I just think with that real stacked roster that AEW has, and they have, frankly, a bit of a bloated roster. I mean, they've only released a couple of people over the course of the last 18 months, and they've been for essentially essential reasons. Apart from that, they've got a very wide roster, so much so that they struggle to get them on 2 hours on TNT every Wednesday night for Dynamite. Sometimes they struggle to get them on even a 3-hour edition of AEW Dark. They've just announced AEW Dark Elevation to get more names on television to keep all of these names happy. So I don't think Bully Ray coming into AEW, I just don't know if that would be the wisest idea. Getting Bully Ray in behind the scenes, that's another matter. You can never have too many good coaches, never too many good producers. And certainly with AEW's tag team division, which is arguably the best tag team division in the world, having a creative tag team mind like Bully Ray behind the scenes could absolutely benefit AEW in terms of being an on-screen talent. Maybe if he was a manager or a coach for a tag team and then occasionally wrestled, that might be something different. AEW's been using the legends and the coaches and the managers really, really well. I think of Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Jake the Snake Roberts, etc. are real quality cases. And Bully Ray possibly does feature into that, but he can still wrestle as well. So that's where Bully Ray could fit in. I just don't know if... Yes, he does technically fit the mold of a Hall of Fame worthy talent. I don't know if he fits the mold of this game-changing, huge signing with a ton of buzz heading into the pay-per-view. If it was revealed to be Bully Ray, I think people will go, oh, okay, it would be interesting to see what Bully Ray does in AEW. I'm not sure, though, if the audience would be truly satisfied with Bully Ray being the reveal. So, as I mentioned, we've had a ton of teasers this week when it comes to social media about who it is and who it isn't going to be. Kurt Angle, Pat McAfee, Bully Ray, Christian, CM Punk. I mean, CM Punk's even commented on it, hasn't he, saying that it's not him. Batista has commented on it, saying, look, I'm retired. I never thought it was going to be Batista. And that never even really crossed my mind. I think he was very happy with his retirement at WrestleMania 35. He would never wrestle for another company that wasn't WWE anyway. And frankly, not being disrespectful to AEW or even WWE, at this point he has better things to do off in Hollywood. He's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's part of several films. I know he loves pro wrestling. We all love pro wrestling. But I think he's scratched that itch and he's moved on. When it comes to CM Punk, look, I really don't think it is. I really don't think it is. If CM Punk's going to go anywhere at this point, in North America certainly, it would be AEW. AEW can afford CM Punk. It'd be a lot of money. They can afford him. He's stated several occasions that he's not completely ruling out a return to pro wrestling or anything like that. And he's mentioned that the more interesting names and the more interesting destination to him right now is AEW. And that's for a variety of reasons, of course, isn't it? That's one, because there is so much baggage when it comes to WWE. I know they're no longer in litigation. I know the legal case has been settled and all that kind of stuff, but it still was a very messy divorce, if you will, when it comes to WWE. And there's still a lot of baggage there, and there's still a lot of heat there. And people might say, yeah, but he worked for WWE backstage. He had a contract with Fox, even though it used the WWE logo and the WWE name. CM Punk really had nothing to do with WWE during that period. They wouldn't even really advertise him on the show, would they? I mean, I think he was advertised on 1 or 2 episodes of Raw and SmackDown, and then the word came down from WWE, look, we don't want to promote CM Punk. We hate CM Punk here at the WWE. And then CM Punk's appearances were advertised by Fox. They weren't advertised by WWE. So I really don't think CM Punk would go back to WWE if he was going to go to anywhere right now. He's mentioned several times that AEW is an interesting alternative to him. Obviously, there's talent there he's never faced before, like a Kenny Omega, etc. That does interest him. So obviously, AEW do have the finances. They do have the talent there. And there is the sense of intrigue and interest. I just don't know. I feel like when it comes to CM Punk, I feel like there is a little bit of residual heat still with CM Punk and AEW, of course, because there were rumours, weren't there, way back when AEW started about Cody Rhodes sending a text or not sending a text, and then CM Punk saying that he felt disrespected by sending a text to him or see if he was interested. I don't know. And there was a lot of confusion there, and I think people within AEW were upset by CM Punk's comments, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just don't. Again, I just don't know if with CM Punk, put it this way, if it was CM Punk, I'm not sure that he would have his AEW debut be announced by Paul Wight, if that makes sense as well. Again, no disrespect to Paul Wight, I just think they would do something different, possibly CM Punk not even being teased or even being speculated about. I think he would want to do it as a complete ultimate surprise that nobody sees coming at all or anything like that. I think that would probably be the route that they would want to go down for that, so I don't think it's going to be him. I think the most likely names at this point, obviously we know the speculation about Christian and that he's not under a contract with WWE, he's not under a contract with Fox either. There was a report initially from Raj over there at Wrestling Inc. that said he was under contract to WWE. He's since retracted that report and said that he actually meant that he was under contract, or he'd been told he was under contract with Fox. That contract looks like it's expired anyway, so it's a possibility it could be Christian. I did a whole video talking about it yesterday, and my point of view of that hasn't changed at all. If it is Christian, it's a massive signing for AEW. It's a massive scalp, considering that Christian only appeared on WWE television a month or so ago during the Men's Royal Rumble match and was a featured player in it. He was in the final four of it. He reunited with Edge, and the fact that AEW could steal Christian from under the nose of WWE would be massive. It would be a huge bit of news. It really would. And even when I first sort of read those reports and first started seeing those reports, even then it was shocking. So to see Christian show up on AEW television, to see Christian show up at AEW Revolution tonight would be a massive deal. I'm still not completely sold on if it's him, but lots of people are starting to speculate on that. So if I was a betting man, which I'm not when it comes to stuff like this, I would think maybe possibly Christian. I think people haven't considered enough the New Japan connection as well, because reports came out a couple of months ago, of course, that New Japan pro wrestling stars were going to start appearing for AEW in the future, one of those names being Okada, and obviously Okada is a Hall of Fame worthy talent. The way they're phrasing it, saying that the person's been signed to a multiple year deal, kind of puts the dampener on that one slightly, because if he's got a contract with New Japan, would he be allowed to sign a deal with AEW? I don't know. If that is the case, then obviously it opens considerably a lot more options for AEW and New Japan when it comes to a talent trade there. So I think people possibly haven't ruled out that one enough. So I would say, the names I'm considering are Christian and Okada. I think the Kurt Angle one's a possibility. I think, as I mentioned yesterday, I would be surprised if it was Kurt Angle, given the fact that he has posted the video yesterday. Because it does kind of ruin the surprise slightly. I know that the way that AEW have built this up, it wasn't going to be a total surprise, because they announced the mystery on Dynamite this past week, and Tony Khan and people in the know have been heavily plugging it and teasing it all throughout the rest of the week on social media and in an interview. So if Kurt Angle wanted to add fuel to that fire, he certainly did yesterday. So I wouldn't be totally surprised. And what was interesting when I did the Kurt Angle video yesterday, it was a bit of a mixed response, actually, frankly, and I was surprised by that in the comments section. And obviously, I really appreciate everyone's comments and everyone getting involved, but it was interesting that some people are kind of like, they saw the way that it ended for Kurt Angle in WWE when it comes to his retirement match being 6 minutes against Baron Corbin at WrestleMania 35, and people want to see him get the closure and the ending that he deserves when it comes to his pro wrestling career. But then there's the other 50% of people that are saying, look, he was struggling then. I know he's in better physical shape now, but it's too late. He should let it rest, and he should carry on doing what he's doing right now, because he looks healthier and happier than ever. And I understand those 2 points of view, so it will certainly be interesting. I'm leaning into it not being Kurt Angle. If I had to really put my neck out on the line right now, I would probably go towards it probably being Christian. But again, I don't know. And again, this is the important thing. I don't think anyone, apart from those in the know, Tony Khan, the mystery person that has signed, and maybe one or two other people, I think they're the only people that know. And if it's someone that was recently under contract with WWE, I don't even know that those within WWE actually know who it is too, because if they did, and if WWE were going to be completely callous and completely calculate about this, you would think if they knew, if those in higher up in WWE, if a Vince McMahon or Bruce Pritchard or whoever, if they knew that it was Christian, for argument's sake, I wouldn't be surprised if it leaked out, purely because if you want to hurt your competition, that's what you do. It's certainly not welcome tactics, and it certainly wouldn't be good for the fans, but you wouldn't put it past WWE, would you? So I don't even know if people high up in WWE know who this person is, which again just adds to the mystery even more, doesn't it? So that certainly is very interesting. Now, what I did want to talk about before we wrap up as well was some information that Tony Khan has confirmed about the attendance for tonight's AEW Revolution pay-per-view as well. Now, AEW President and CEO Tony Khan joined Aubrey Edwards and Tony Schiavone on the latest episode of the AEW Unrestricted podcast, and it was announced that AEW Revolution quickly sold out, but the number of seats was not announced. Now, Khan actually confirmed the official attendance for the pay-per-view tonight. He said, quote, "We're going to have the biggest crowd we've done yet because we found some new seats. We've reconfigured a little bit. We're still running just over 25% capacity, under 30% capacity, and we're going to have over 1,300 people at Daly's Place." So that's the attendance. I think given, the pandemic numbers, that's huge, really, considering the size of Daly's Place. Look, it certainly does add to the event, there's no doubt about it. Dynamite has certainly benefited massively from when they've had live fans in attendance. There's no replicating it. We've seen that during the pandemic, that there's nothing like having the fans in attendance at the event, having the raw energy, the electricity, the atmosphere that they provide. Obviously, and I've mentioned this time and time again, obviously though, the biggest concern is the health and safety of those in attendance and those performing. I know people can say about, they're in different pods and they have their temperature checked and they wear masks, all that kind of stuff. And from what we've seen so far, AEW have been very, very good about this. I don't know if there have been any outbreaks because of attending events. And obviously I know that there's lots and lots of people getting the vaccine now. It still is a slight concern, but given how AEW have been managing this for, at this point, 3-4 months when it comes to live fans in attendance, I think they've been doing a pretty interesting job. So, look, there's no doubt it will help add to the pay-per-view, but of course, health and safety is a paramount as well. But of course, as always, it's just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on these latest teases about this mystery signing, this Hall of Fame worthy signing that's going to be revealed tonight at AEW Revolution? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about AEW, WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community, drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube, get up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or have you come across this video today, and I'll speak with you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.